Aquarius, born January 20th to February 18th, what can you expect for the month of February 2017? Let's tune in and find out. Well, Aquarians, it just feels like you're going to be celebrating a lot. Now, some of you have just had a birthday, or you're going to have a birthday coming up here, and in which case, have a wonderful birthday. But it just feels like there is a lot to celebrate. There's movement. There are things that are happening, and interesting enough, we just had a new moon in your sign on January 27th, right? So moons bring new beginnings and new opportunities. So maybe you're experiencing some of that. Some of you may also find money showing up around you, new money, new forms of which money can come into you, new opportunities with money, whether it's to invest your money or whether it's you're receiving money, but it feels like there's an opportunity to have more money or to hit the jackpot. Wow, I like that. That's a great way to start a birthday reading. All right, so let's look and begin first with relationships. For those of you that are in a committed romantic relationship, for you Aquarians, let's look and see what's in store for you for the month. So good opportunity for those of you in a committed relationship to really feel a deeper connection with your partner and to listen. I see you contemplating and really listening and really trying to understand and having compassion. And also there may be for some of you some surprise emotions or things coming from your partner that you weren't aware of. Maybe something that happened a while ago that they've been hanging on to, and it's like, what? Why didn't you say something? It's like one of those things, and that could also be because we've got a couple of eclipses happening this month. There's a full moon in Leo, February 10th, and so there could be something like that if your partner's a Leo. There may be some energy around that. Or we have a solar eclipse, the new moon in Pisces, which is February 26th, right? And that's also a water sign. So just be aware that there's, the eclipses are just amplified moons, right? Like 3 times the energy that you would have in a new moon or a full moon comes with these eclipses. So there could be some shakeups in relationships or new insights given to you in your relationship, or maybe even that you decide that you pack up and move, and that could be together or not together. And eclipses, sometimes they don't happen right then. It doesn't happen exactly on that day, but it could be as much as a month before or after the eclipse as well. So just keep that in mind, that there's some movement in your relationships potentially with these eclipses. Now, let's look at, and by the way, eclipses don't have to be a bad thing, right? And eclipses, let's say it would be bad news in a relationship. Say that maybe you discovered in the full moon that your grandfather's ill, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to pass. It could mean that he needs to move someplace else for his health. So instead of living in the Northeast, he's going to move to Arizona because it's better for his health, and so now you won't get to see him as much. So he sort of eclipses out of your life, right? There could be something like that. It doesn't have to be always a negative thing. It could be that, oh, that's good for him, and I'll have someplace to go visit. So just keep in mind that eclipses don't always mean bad things, and it also, there's always a second part, or the other shoe drops with an eclipse too. So let's say that you're eclipsed out of your job and you're being told, oh, you're downsizing and you don't have enough money now to make ends meet. It could be that the universe brings you 6 weeks or 2 months later a better paying job. So it's like, wow, thank God that happened to me, or I'd still been stuck there with those crappy hours, and instead I've got this great job, right? So whatever happens in an eclipse, they're designed to jolt you awake, or to jolt all of us awake. So just keep that in mind, Aquarians, that this is happening for all the signs this month. And all right, so now let's look at anything else about the committed relationships, romantic relationships. Yes. You want to be patient with yourself in this relationship, and not get overly anxious or overly needy to make sure that your point is heard or that you are heard. I feel like if you relax a little bit, chill out a little bit, your partner is going to give you the space and the time and really listen to what you have to say. But you want to understand that, you want to make sure that the timing is there. A lot of times we just want to say what we want to say when we want to say it, and the partner is, texting or doing something else, and they're not present to us. You're just wasting your voice. So if you just wait until they're present to you and then say it, you'll get the impact that you want. All right, let's look at individuals who aren't in a committed relationship and what you can expect for the month if you're looking for romance. Yeah, there's a good opportunity here with the new moon in Pisces at the end of the month. That's the new moon energy that brings new beginnings and new opportunities. So I really feel a great opportunity for sure by the end of the month, and if not already this month that you're receiving it. But it's really open. It's up to you. You guys are super creative. You're super sensual. You've got this great light inside of you, and your job is to be you, right? And illuminate. Just go out there and be yourself and have fun and enjoy yourself, and don't worry about the partner finding you. Just be you, and as you're just doing that, that will draw in, a good relationship for you. Sometimes when we want a relationship so bad, it's that wanting or that neediness that freaks people out, or they run the other way, or like, damn, too intense for me, right? So you want to make sure that you're not doing that. And the way that you do that is by just having a good time and not worrying about it, and really trusting inside of yourself. Hey, I'm a good catch. They'll find me. It's happening. It's gonna happen. And just take care of yourself and do the best that you can do for yourself this month in all areas, and you'll be able to attract that relationship. All right, let's move on to your money. I know we touched on it when I first started talking, so let's see anything else about your money for this month. Yeah, there's going to be something really good for you to invest in that you can win. And this feels short term even. It feels like it could be something that, somebody asks you to borrow some money and they make an attractive interest rate, and you're able to do it, and they're able to pay you back, right? So that's one way. There's something that you could be selling, and you get a really good high price for it this month. Another way to be able to capitalize on something. It could also be that you could get a promotion or a raise this month. So there is opportunity in your career to be able to earn more money as well. I'm not seeing it so much in terms of, could be a court case, but I'm not seeing it as much in terms of like an inheritance, which is always kind of like that. Then that means that nobody's died for you to get money, right? So, but I see it that it could be also in a court case for some of you. Okay. Anything else about money? No. All right, so let's move on to your health, Aquarians. I feel like you guys really need to build your stamina, really need to build your strength, your inner strength. And whether that's just that you're needing a little bit more willpower, or you're needing consistency in your workout and your food choices, or maybe you're not a good patient and you're not following your doctor's orders, or you're cheating this way or that way, or kind of cutting corners, excuse me, with your health. I feel this is the month that you're going to be able to kind of get things back on track, that you'll be able to find new remedies or new outlets for boredom or for frustration. So if you're so tired of going to the gym, you'll find an alternative workout that's going to support you. So it's like that. I see you getting creative with the things that you're bored with because you're not doing them, and because you're bored, and finding something better, another way to stay healthy and committed. So there's definitely flexibility and creativity around your health to maintain it this month. You want to be careful around your extremities, like fingers and toes and things like that, just around that that eclipse, but it feels more like around the end of the month. That feels like for some of you, just being a little bit more careful if you're skiing on a mountain or you're, doing anything. Just and it's not about God. How do I protect my fingers and my toes? It's like being smart, right? So it's about, okay. So if I'm gonna go outside, I'm going to have the proper shoe covering, right? So if I'm in snow, I'm going to have shoes on. If I'm going to be, walking around the house, I'm going to have slippers, or sandals, whatever. So it's making sure that, you have the right shoes on for the type of activity that you're doing. Because I feel like it has something to do more with carelessness than, something you don't even think about. It feels more like carelessness to me than actually, oh, this is going to befall you. It feels definitely like something you can avoid just by using common sense. Okay? Let's see if there's anything unexpected for you Aquarians for this month. Yeah, I really feel like there's a problem that you have that you just kind of gave up on and you just didn't think it could be solved. And I do feel, and it might be around your health, I do feel that there's, or someone you love's health, I do feel there's new information coming in. And it could either be that there was a misdiagnosis and now the correct diagnosis is given, or there is finally a diagnosis, or there's just more information about how to maintain your health. But it definitely feels like there's some surprise and positive information about your health that, or you just finally find the winning formula. Like, wow, I finally am doing X, Y, and Z, and I'm losing weight now. And that one little subtle change has made a huge difference. So it's like that. So just pay attention, but it's in the area of your health where there's some new information that's going to support you in feeling good, looking good, being at your best. So it really feels like an exciting month, Aquarians. Your creativity is flowing. There's money that's flowing. The relationships are good. There may be some challenges or information coming through in relationships that are startling or disappointing to you, or things with the eclipses. I just want to mention about an eclipse is they're used to wake us up. They're used to get us moving and creating some momentum. And the eclipses, the full moon in Leo on February 10th, it's a lunar eclipse, and that has to do with the sign of Leo. But all of us then can be a little more sentimental. We can be a little more emotional during those times because it's a feminine energy. We could have, it could be that I mentioned very briefly that some of you may have a female then eclipsing out of your life. Whether it's a daughter who gets pregnant and now, she just doesn't spend as much time with you because she's tending to her baby, or that, this is what's going to be happening. So there's a lot of different reasons. It could be that your best friend is moving across the country. And it could also mean that somebody you love has passed. There's a lot of different ways that somebody could be eclipsed out of your life. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to happen. It's for a small percentage of you. And then in addition, there's eclipses you generally want to, because they affect the unexpected, you usually want to have a lighter schedule around the eclipses. So around February 10th and around February 26th, which is the solar eclipse in Pisces, you want to leave a little more room around your schedule just because it's unexpected. And especially if you or your partner are a Pisces or a Leo, right? Or are and for Pisces, you could be also a Cancer or a Scorpio could be affected. Or if you have that if you have that as your moon or your rising too, you may be more affected by it. And as a Leo, a fire signs, there's also the Aries and Sag, right? And then again, if you're a rising or moon sign, you're also more likely to be influenced by the eclipses. And remember, eclipses are things, they can be good things, right? They're transformative and they're designed to wake us up and get us moving. So, whatever comes in an eclipse, you want to really pay attention to. If something happens, you go, there's going to be some truth to that. So just know that there's no fluke things that happen around eclipses. There's really some information that you really need to look at. All right, Aquarians, have an amazing month. It's an exciting month. There's a lot of good things in store for you. So happy birthday, everyone. Have a terrific February. And I look forward to connecting with you again next month And in the meantime, if you like my intuitive astrology, please click like, share it with your friends, and I look forward to connecting with you again soon.